celebration.
That whole scenario, we're not sorry for. We would do it again. The reason why it was done is out of honor for them, and honor for Devon.
That birthday party was done out of complete love, unselfish love, nothing but pure love done for him because he wanted to be 7.
Even so, the silly string tape would prove to be a big mistake.
I don't believe bad taste equates to criminal responsibility.
But that wasn't the only video being recorded that day. Unbeknownst to anyone, police had set up a video surveillance camera at the gravesite. And on the tape, you can see what transpired before the birthday celebration.
Prior to that birthday party celebration, there was a 2-hour memorial service with all the appropriate sermons, crying, hugs, and sobs among the family and friends that were there.
And police also recorded Darlie's sister Dana at the grave. It was her idea to bring silly string.
I got you some snaps of the silly string.
Then, later on, she and Darlie returned to the cemetery.
Are we allowed to do this?
The Routiers believed that while they were grieving, the police were out looking for the intruder. A strange black car had been seen several times in the neighborhood.
They had hundreds of leads and had people calling in, and there was, you know, a neighbor across the street saw the black car, you know, plenty of neighbors saw a black car, but without a license plate number, what do you got?
What the police had was this, a blood trail that ended in the utility room that connects to the garage. There was also a cut window screen and a sock with drops of blood on it, left by a sewer drain in the alley behind the house. For a crime so bloody and vicious, police believed there should have been much more evidence of a disturbance. And then there were Darlie's statements about the intruder. They were just not adding up.
The original story on the 911 tape was that she woke up and she began fighting with the man at the couch. When the officers come to the scene, she says that she woke up, she chased this man and fought with him in the kitchen. So you see, now we have a progression to the fact that she woke up and she saw a man walking away from her with no struggle.
Police called the Routiers back in for more questioning.
My dad kind of thought after 4 or 5 interviews with the police that, you know, something's not right here. And he talked to Darlie and Darren, and they both said, you know, innocent people don't need attorneys.
What police were doing was gathering evidence, enough to pin the murders on Darlie. On June 18th, Darlie Lynn Routier was arrested for the murders of her sons, Damon and Devon.
We believe that the white male suspect, described by Darlie Routier as the man that attacked her and murdered her children, never existed. We also believe that the wounds present on Darlie Routier were self-inflicted. As for the father, Darren Routier, at this point we do not believe that he was involved in or participated in the murders.
I saw Darlene arrested on TV. I had no idea. We had no idea.
Coming up, Darlie on trial.
I'm innocent.
This was not an investigation as much as an evidence collection process focusing simply on Darlie Routier.
Ooh, pretty. Let me see the other one.
You keep thinking that, you know, you're innocent, and you know, you keep waiting for them to come back and tell you that, oh, well, we've made a terrible mistake and we're so sorry, and you know, we found who did this.
But it was not like that at all. In fact, it was beginning to look more like the Susan Smith case comes to Texas. Fox 4 TV reporter Jeff Crilly remembers the media frenzy.
Oh, it was huge. Everybody thought, wow, we have a Susan Smith right here in our own backyard. A mother, well-to-do, lived in an affluent neighborhood in a nice suburb, and she killed her own kids. I mean, it was so big that we couldn't do enough Darlie stories.
What do you think happened that night?
I think that we had the prettiest house on the block, and I think that I had the prettiest wife on the block. And I believe that someone decided to follow her home from the grocery store, follow her home from the tanning salon. I don't know.
Darlie's arrest sent the Routier family reeling. In the midst of grieving for Damon and Devon, they now had to focus totally on Darlie's arrest.
We were crying all the time. We were just, you know, couldn't even get off the couch. I mean, we were just, we were devastated.
Child Protective Services took 7-month-old Drake into their custody, but Darren's parents, Cyrilda and Leonard Routier, filed for and won temporary custody.
What's the first thing you guys tell her to do with your grandchild?
I'm gonna kiss him.
With Darlie behind bars, the district attorney's office began building their strategy.
There were very calculated efforts made throughout this crime to try to divert attention, to try to mislead the police.
To this day, the sequence of events is unclear, but the state argued that Darlie had not only murdered her children, but before slashing her own throat, put the murder weapon in the utility room, cut the garage screen window, and put the sock in the alley. Prosecutors claimed Darlie planned it all, hoping to make it appear an intruder had been in the house.
Why would someone take a sock out of the home? You mean to tell me they're going to leave a murder weapon behind with their fingerprints perhaps on it, and they're going to take a sock down an alleyway?
I don't think the Routiers, either one of them, would have been sophisticated enough to plant something down the alley near a trash receptacle. I think that's more consistent with someone discarding something as he flees.
Just 3 months before the trial, Dallas attorney Doug Mulder replaced Darlie's court-appointed attorneys. By that time, it had been decided to try the case in Kerrville.
It makes absolutely no sense to me to move a case from an area of 2 million to an area of 20,000 on the basis of publicity. I mean, it's absurd. And the first thing I tried to do when I got into the case was move it back to Dallas. But Judge Toll wasn't about to move it.
Located 60 miles west of San Antonio in the high country, Kerrville drastically differs from Dallas and is known for being conservative. The prosecution sought the death penalty. Under Texas law, Damon Routier's murder is considered a capital offense because he was under 6 years of age. On January 6, 1997, the trial began.
She came into the courtroom. She had this kind of smug look on her face. The police described her as a woman who was living in the fast lane, that she and her husband had accumulated some debt, and so she was despised. I mean, people hated her.
No television cameras were permitted inside the courtroom, but each day it was filled to capacity. Prosecutors said the Routiers had severe financial problems that prevented Darlie from living the high life. Bank statements revealed that the Routiers had less than $2,500 in their account the day of the murders and were behind on mortgage payments.
I could not believe the opening statements from Greg Davis. She killed her children because she was tired of her lifestyle? Give me a break. She lived for those children. Everything about her life was her family.
There was financial pressure there because of her level of spending. Their income was leveling off. That's one thing. We know, too, that she was depressed. She's unhappy following the birth of her third son. In fact, she's attempted to commit suicide a month earlier in her home, according to her own journal, so she's unhappy.
Indeed, Routier's journal does say she cannot go on and hopes that Devon, Damon, and Drake will forgive her. But Darren Routier insists his wife was not suicidal.
I mean, just because a woman has baby blues doesn't mean she's going to kill her children.
And Routier absolutely denies having financial problems.
I had $26,000 on my book.